everyone, it's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight we're talking to Dwyan Marsh, and he's a serial entrepreneur and much, much more. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it's a miracle, baby. Shot chill, miracle Sims, let's go. That I'm not the type of girl that goes. Yeah, it's a miracle, baby. Shot you wishing I would have a one night affair.
Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. As you can see, I'm here with Dwyan Marsh. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Miss Miracle. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain, man. Had a little time to chit chat, so I think I'm doing, But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. So tell
Good.
us where you're from and then a little bit about yourself.
So I am currently in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area. I grew up here, but my mother was in the military, in the Navy.
Mhm.
So I kind of grew up kind of around the country, but we landed here when I was about 10 years old. So, kind of grew up here, became a man here, adolescent years in 90 Los Angeles. So that's that. I am a husband, father of three. I'm an Air Force veteran, and who turned into an entrepreneur. And
Mm.
so, that's currently my path.
Okay. Look, well, thank you for your service. We got to do that,
No worries.
right?
No worries. No worries. No worries.
Yeah, look, following mom's footsteps, a little bit.
A little bit. My mother was in the Navy, and
Okay.
so I grew up going on naval ships and things of that
Mm.
nature. And I knew that I did not want to do that. so
Okay.
so so I was like, nah, I don't want to be in the Navy. She even
Mm.
put me in what's called Sea Cadets, which is kind of like the junior Navy. So I had to go
Hey.
to like boot camp in high school and like learn how to swim, and they threw you in the water, and I had to wear like the dungarees, which are like bell bottoms, you know what I'm saying? So I had to
Yeah.
wear the uniform and all that kind of stuff in high school. And so that made me say, you know what? I want to do something different. and
Listen,
so and
that's
so
funny.
yeah, so I went into the Air Force.
Mm.
Didn't want to do ships, didn't want to do water. I went into the Air Force. So that was my path.
I was gonna say like, oh, that would definitely be like formative if you go in your youth, but then you was like, it was formative for you in the opposite direction, and I totally understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The things that you go through when you're young, you either want to follow those footsteps or you want to go the total opposite. So, you know,
Mm.
um, I didn't mind the military lifestyle, but
Mhm.
I did mind the ships, and it's tight, really tight spaces, and you got to climb
Mhm.
up, and it's no, 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 no,
Ah,
no.
I mean, I know people been talking about cruises. I know it's not the same. It's not the same because the military work, but
Right.
I haven't really taken a cruise for real, and I say that because like my family has been on. Like we went to the Bahamas, and there was one part of the trip where you had to get on the boat, and they took you. It was like a cruise ship, but it was never no staying overnight. It just was like you go straight to the Bahamas. So
So
that's
that was
the most. You know what I'm saying? So I want to
That's
do
like a
that and
little
have
boat
that
trip. That's a
experience.
boat trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like an afternoon cruise or something, like a dinner cruise or something. That's
Yeah, so I'm like, I wanna actually experience, enjoying the amenities of a cruise ship and whatnot. I know I have a homegirl that does that a lot. Not comparing the two. I'm just saying
right,
that,
right, right.
like boat
Now,
stuff.
now
But
I have been on an actual cruise, like a vacation cruise. We
okay.
did a 3-day cruise, and that was fun. That was cool.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
I wasn't in the back, I wasn't doing any work. You know what I'm saying? I was just
Yeah.
eating and going to the pool and going to the bars and the clubs and just
Mhm.
having fun. So
Yeah.
that was cool. But
Different experience. So it didn't turn you away from boats completely, just
it didn't turn me away from boats completely. But as far as working on one, nah, I'm good. No way.
got you.
No
Got
way. No
you.
way.
Well, Well, that's awesome, man, in regards to you being able to figure out what it is you want and whatnot. Honestly, what you just said about childhood and all that type of stuff, it speaks a word to me in my life right now. So I'm laughing
Mm,
internally about all of that. But no worries. Let's get on into like you and what you got going on, right? So you letting us know you're an entrepreneur, you're a husband, father as well, right? You mentioned
yes, yes,
okay,
ma'am.
and all that great stuff, you know what I'm saying? So like, so how's it going, man? Let us know.
It's going well. I started my entrepreneurial journey probably in 2006 is when I really started going hard. I mean, I grew up, my great grandfather, he had a store in the back of his house, a candy store, where all the neighborhood kids would run up and say, "Hey, let me get a penny candy, let me get an
Mhm.
icy, let me get a choco stick or whatever." So I used to help
Yeah.
him with that. That was my great grandfather. And then my grandfather was an electrician. So, I kind of grew up around entrepreneurs. I used to go on jobs with my grandfather. So I kind of grew up around entrepreneurs and just kind of seeing that how that works and all that as a child. And so, when I grew up, I was a musician. I was in music first. And so, selling CDs and things of that nature, promoting myself, wearing my shirts and all that kind of stuff. And so when I went overseas, well, this is while I was still in the military, but when I went overseas, um, one of my partners was like, "Hey, let's do this club promotion stuff." And so I started doing club promotion, and that was the first time just like building a team and having people passing out flyers for me, and
Mhm.
just and that kind of invigorated me. And so once I got back from being in the military and overseas, that was kind of the path that I went to. I had a brick and mortar store, started with one and ended with three before I sold them. And
Mm.
so, now I'm just trying to help entrepreneurs out because I know that, most entrepreneurs, they love what they do. Like if you're a plumber, you love to plumb. If you're a roofer, you love the roof. You know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
you got a
Mhm.
flower shop, then, your expertise is flowers. But what I noticed is that a lot of entrepreneurs are not really good with the promoting side, with the marketing side,
Mhm.
with all that kind of stuff. And so, I just want to help entrepreneurs, do that, get their marketing, get their promotion, help them with the social media aspect, all that kind of stuff that entrepreneurs mostly don't want to do, um, because it's just not in their wheelhouse.
Mhm.
I've just been fortunate enough to have a bunch of different experience. I know how to code. I'm very technical, and so I just want to use my expertise in that area to help other business owners and entrepreneurs out. And so that's
Mm.
kind of been my mission in this part of my life. My kids are grown now, and got the got the wife that I want, the house that I want, the kid, the car that I want. So now I just want to help other people, achieve their goals.
Man, okay. I was with you
I
till you
know, I know,
said
I know, I know.
I'm like,
I
wait, hold on, wait a minute. Look, the math ain't math is what we looking at here. Now that look, don't judge a book by the cover, right? People could probably
correct,
say the same thing of me.
correct.
Probably like, oh, I'm such and such, or back in my 20s, they probably like, what? So I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, what you mean? Like, are
Right.
you saying 18? Like your kids are 18 at least? Because maybe I might believe that.
So my youngest is actually 18. My
Okay.
youngest is
No,
actually
wait, your youngest, wait, hold on. So now everybody gonna want to know about like your health and fitness and whatnot. Because I
Oh, I
mean,
mean, we can
you
get we
about
can definitely
18
get into
yourself,
that.
sir.
We can definitely get into that. I know I
Listen,
got a little pimple right now because I've been, eating good, eating some
shoot.
sweets over the weekend. But other than that, I try to
They gonna
I
be like,
try to
man,
keep
he
it.
about
Yeah,
18 himself. They ain't gonna believe this.
nah, I'm well in my 40s, well in my 40s. So yeah,
Look, God's good, man.
God
Look.
is God is great.
Something in
God
the
is
water over there in California.
great.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Let's go back to what you talking about with entrepreneurship. Look, yeah, I'm blowed up mind with that. Okay, so look,
Okay.
I'm with you, right? I'm like I feel like birds of a feather right here because and I now at first I thought that everybody kind of had this thing because again I think I grew up. Well, I know I grew up around entrepreneurship as well, so I thought that
Mhm,
maybe everybody, if you had, you work hard, you want to go for your goals, like you had that thing in you that makes you want to go and do. I've
mhm.
come to learn that that ain't the case, and I
It's not.
think a lot of entrepreneurs have that thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like you to go after whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so a lot of what you said is I could definitely resonate with. I mean, back to what you were saying about your grandfather and whatnot. I did one of my grandfathers did have a little store, but I'm more so used to the candy ladies because they were doing more so what you were talking about. But I did have a
Right,
grandfather as well that did that.
right.
Um, and yeah, I mean, we definitely appreciated those those individuals. Like, yeah, you said. Now hold on, like, did your person have like the little ring cookies, like the little butter ring cookies?
Butter ring cookies? Now that
They
I'm not
look like flowers, but they
mm,
but they're like that's the only way I can explain like butter ring. They were small. They look like flowers. They you might find them now, but they more so like the vanilla. But the ones they had back in the day was strawberry. But anyway,
and they was, like, individually wrapped?
no, no.
Oh,
But they
okay.
would be selling like
Oh, they would sell the
they
individual,
would sell
okay.
the
The
individual
only
cookies.
type of cookies I can remember like that was, like, the ones that came in the little metal can, the tin
Oh,
can, and then they had the little flower ring around them, the butter cookies. Those are the only ones that I can remember. But,
now they might have. But see, we've established this year before we so, but
yeah,
they
this
might
is
have had them in the 10 before then, though. But see, the
mhm,
ones you're talking about might have been bigger. Like I think the ones that I'm talking about, they were small. Like I could put it on my finger and be like,
oh, okay, okay, yeah, no, no,
yeah. The
no.
candy lady would
I'm
sell those individually. What 10 cents? Like I don't even know. Anyway, so
right, right,
shout
right.
out to the candy ladies and the candy
Right,
gentlemen. You know what I
right,
mean?
exactly. Those were the days, those were the days.
Candy
You run up,
man.
got a little bread, got a little 25 cents or something, let me see
Yeah,
what I can get here, and you can actually get more than one thing for a quarter, you know,
r-
uh,
man. Oh, good times.
nowadays, that's just not a real thing.
Oh man, I know my sister was complaining about the how to was it drink machines is like there's nothing a dollar really in there no more. It's like two
Nah,
dollars.
it's like 250. It's 250 for a can of soda, like, what?
Yeah, a can.
A can, 12 ounces. That's wild.
Like nothing changed about what they did. The packaging.
Right, right, right.
Oh
They're
Lord,
just like, "We gonna raise these
entrepreneurship.
prices." Right, exactly.
So with that being said, right? So you got into it's a you the marketing and whatnot. Obviously the club promotion and whatnot has got I guess one of the things that led to now the marketing and whatnot, which
Mhm.
you're right. Again, I can resonate with everything you're saying about that because I feel like, well, I've been blessed since I've been doing this to start to build like a team of people where it's like, okay,
Right.
now I have a virtual assistant, I got the guy that's editing, and it's me, and you know what I mean? So I can focus on what I'm
Nice,
doing, they can do what they
nice.
do and stuff. And who knows, man, we might need to talk about this marketing thing because Lord knows I can't be the one to do it. I can't focus on that. Like I gotta
Yeah,
be
yeah.
I
I
gotta be the
mean,
one to
that's
focus on the other stuff.
right,
Um,
because as the head, of your company, you
mhm,
have to be the one that's doing the strategy, that's doing the innovation, but you also can't be the one that's, doing the thing. You
mhm,
can't be the one that's, nailing the hammer, you know what I'm saying, nailing the
mhm.
nail, hammering the nail, I should say. You
Yeah,
can't be the
yeah.
one that's doing the actual all the grunt work because that doesn't leave you any time to do the strategy, come up with these amazing interviews that you're doing and all that kind of
Mhm,
stuff. Like all that takes a lot of brain power and takes a lot of
mhm,
time. And so leveraging other people, leveraging automation, just all of these type of things that you can do to offload some of the work is amazing. Like
mhm.
I'll tell you this one story. When I was in the UK, so we used to go out and flyer cars, right? So we're talking about passing out flyers on cars
Oh,
and
okay, yeah,
putting
yeah.
them on cars, like at the end of the club night or whatever. So
Mhm,
me and my partner would go out like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning wearing Cambridge, UK. We're just putting flyers on all these different cars, flyers on cars, flyers on cars. And then as soon as people start coming out the club, right, then we're standing outside the club. We're handing out, hey, come to the, the next party that we have. Come to the next party that we have. Come to the next party. So we're doing this. And then doing it for a couple of months. It's cold. I'm like, you know what? It's got to be a better way. Right. So I do a little research online and I find this tech service. Now, remember, this is like 2006, 2007. Right. So there's no iPhone, there's no smartphones, there's no social media. You know, we all got flip phones at this time. We got
Yeah, I
the
remember,
Motorola
man.
Raiders. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like
so
we got
crazy that was so like it wasn't that long ago, but then it's just what you're
yeah,
saying right now was just like, man, I remember having to upload on
right.
download and then upload your video. Like now it's just like, you know?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I did a little research and I found out that there is actually a text service, right?
Mm,
So you can send one text and then that goes out to all of your customers. So I told my partner, like, yo, let's pay for this and let's start getting people's numbers. I mean, we had a bunch of people's numbers already just because,
mhm,
we knew people, you know what I'm saying? So we
mhm,
started adding people to the list. And then, so now our efforts were like I didn't have to go out every night, every club night and try to flyer cars or anything like that, right? So
mhm,
that was really my first foray into like digital marketing, right? Because I'm sending
mhm,
one text, but I'm sending it to all of my customers, all of my patrons, and then the
yeah,
people who weren't on my text list, when they came to the club night or whatever, they'd bring their friends or whatever. So those people wouldn't be on my text list. I'm like, hey, just sign up, what I'm saying, for my text if you want to know. And so boom. So no more going out late at night, no more, staying up, doing that. So
yeah,
that's just leveraging automation, saying,
mhm,
leveraging digital marketing to be able to free up time, I'm saying, to do the other
yeah,
things that you need to do,
mhm.
so that's really just what it's about, saying, just leveraging automation, leveraging other tasks that you don't have to be the one out there, being the foot soldier, you know.
Well, I'm sure, listen, in this day and age, I'm sure you must be booked and busy then because I know everybody out here, everybody's their own celebrity, right? What they say, they call
Right.
it the lead, how they say it? Um,
Everybody's a star of their own
yeah,
show.
everybody's a star, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. So everybody might need your service, sounds like to me.
Right,
So look, you
right.
probably ain't got time for little old me.
No, I got time for you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here,
All right. Well, look, we have to look. Unless we're gonna do look a live discussion, like this. And so this is how it would be to work with Brother Dwyan. Let's go. The
Yeah, I mean,
consultation.
right. I mean, like I said, it's something that I realized that was really a gap, even when I had my brick and mortar stores, right? So
Mm,
I had a phone repair shop, right? So I would repair smartphones and computers and game consoles. So when people were broken, when you drop your phone, whatever, you would come in and come into my store, whatever. So even
mhm,
with that, we had to. So our big thing was we would take pizzas to all of the phone carriers. So that would be me once a week. I'm buying like 10, 12, 20 pizzas. And so the people that work in Verizon, the people that work in T-Mobile, the people that work in Sprint at the time, they're all young kids and they love pizza. You know what I'm saying? So I used to bring
this
them a
guy
pizza
right
and be
here.
like, yo, here's lunch, guys. Here, take a stack of my card. And whenever it's somebody that you can't help, right? So everybody who doesn't want to buy a new phone, right? Everybody can't
Mhm,
afford a new phone. So I'm like, look, I'm not trying to take business from you guys, but um, if you got people who don't buy a new phone or whatever, just send them over to us. And they're like, oh, sure. I got you. I even had a connect at the Apple store. Shh, don't tell nobody. But I had a connect at the Apple store that used to send me people all the time. And like,
mhm,
and she just came into my store one time and we started chopping it up, and we became friends, whatever. And she would text me like, "Hey, this person, woo wop, they're gonna come over." So it's just really about trying to get out there and do the promotion part. But at
mm.
all of my stores, like all of my employees, they love doing the work, they love fixing the phones or whatever, but they hated doing pizza runs. They hated doing pizza runs, because that's the
Yeah.
marketing part, that's the part where you have to really get out there and talk to the people and, let people know who you are and what you have and your service. And I came to realize like a lot of business owners, excuse me, that is their main issue, is that they don't want to get out there. I had a dentist right next door. I had a smoke shop next door. I had a mail, like a mail post office box type of thing next to me, all in my shopping area, and none of them really got out and did any marketing. It was weird. Like I would talk to them all the time, and they're just like, "Oh, business is slow," or "Business is this." I'm like, "Yo, how's business? How's it? Oh, it's this or slow," or I just gotta wait for people to come in and et cetera. Like, so, like, what are you doing? Like, what is your outreach? How are you people knowing what you're doing? It's like, oh well, I put a sign out there on the street, so hopefully they'll come in, type of thing. I'm just like, so you really have to have to get out there. And so that's kind of when I kind of had an aha moment, like, man, there are a lot of business owners out there who love doing what they do, like coaches, that kind of thing. They love doing what they do, but being able to get the people to you is like a whole nother skill. It's a whole nother skill. So, that was one of the things that I was like, what, let me hone my skill on this and create something to where, I can help out these business owners, and that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of been the path that I've been on for the last, couple years.
Hey man, well, look, I know you have to be successful with it because I mean, again, there is that gap there. And I think even with everything that's available, it's still a gap there. Like I was actually telling my husband this the other night. I was just like, I don't know, I don't know how deep I want to get into that right now, but basically, I guess I've been someone that always felt like I was the underdog, right? Like always like had this or had that, but then at the same time only could get so far, and then whatever the case may be, and like I really stand behind like everything God's doing through me with this platform, right?
Right.
And the one thing I would say about now at this time of my life, I can see the difference in me between like years ago when I was just online doing my thing, um and that's like whatever's in me now is making me be like, okay, it doesn't matter how many views, it doesn't matter how many subscribers, I need to be consistent, I need to
Correct.
do this, you know what I'm saying? I need to do the daily inspiration. The two main things I do right now is the daily inspiration and then the weekly talk show. And I'm like, so I'm gonna just focus on being intentional and being consistent, right?
Right.
Because back in the day, I think one of the things that kind of made me kind of falter a little bit was feeling like, oh, nobody's talking to me, nobody's responding to my videos, I'm putting stuff up and and so I ended up doing maybe like 12 videos back then or something like that, and then kind of paused on it, and then I guess was silent or whatever for a while. And then
Right.
now when I feel like God's kind of pushing me back out there, I'm just like, all right, well, obviously I can't do what I did before, right? So I'm gonna do something different. And my doing something different is to stay consistent. But like I said earlier, it's like I know I can't be that person to take on that other stuff, because then it'll start to be like you feel some way and then you're doing a comparison game, which I know better, you know what I'm saying? I know I shouldn't do, and I know everybody got, their own path and stuff like that. But it's just
Right.
so weird to me. What I was saying to my husband the other night was like, I feel like it's just so weird to me how it seems like some people can just get out there and then they just got all the things. You know what I mean? Like they got all the subscriber, followers, money, whatever. They can just get out there and do all the things, and then on the flip side, maybe someone else has the same thing, and then you don't. It's like crickets, and it's like the weirdest. And I know people blame it on the algorithm, and there's all these things that people say is the reasons why. But
Hmm.
it could just be you. You know what I'm saying?
I
Maybe
was
they
about to
just ain't
say,
got.
what do you think? What do you think that is? What do you think
For
that
me,
causes that for how you said some people, they have all the things and they get all the views and all the this and all of that, and then some people it just doesn't connect. What do you feel like that is?
well, I feel like there's a lot of things in play. I mean, if I don't know if I should think about myself or if I should like use more general things, but I guess when I think about if I take not say take God out, but I mean obviously I feel like He's in control of everything. Then I also feel like there's spiritual warfare and whatnot as well when it comes to certain things or certain
Mhm.
topics and
Mhm.
things. So that's
Mm.
one thing I feel like, for example, if I am going to talk about this platform of GSL, like that could be a thing. That could be reasons. But then if I just only think about, I guess, with the earthly reasons, then I would say maybe again, um, maybe it's the content itself, but not that it's bad. Because I feel like, for example, us having this conversation, somebody needs to hear that everything you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Right.
like there's been so
Right.
many amazing people with just the talk show itself. Is I would love for more people to see y'all. You know, honestly, I mean, yeah, come watch Daily Inspiration too. You know, and hopefully you get something from that as well. But you know, as well as again the amazing people that has been on here sharing everything that you guys have going on. Um, so it just seems like content outside of this type of realm, it seems to get more push than positive, I guess you would say, content. So I feel like that plays a huge part in stuff as well. But then outside of that, let's just say, okay, there's two people that are saying the same message. At that point, I really don't know if I don't know. Maybe it's just popularity. Perhaps it's I don't know what else I could say. Like um, there was something that came to my mind, but it went away. But
Right. So
those are my little understanding. I don't know, like.
I mean, when you have positive messages, obviously, the negative travels faster, than the positive in this current, world that we live in. But
Yeah.
also, intentionality is really um is really key. And I know people talk about the algorithm and all that kind of stuff, but the algorithm is really just a tool, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like a microwave, it's just like an oven, it's just like anything else. Like, there's a million cooks out there, you know what I'm saying? But everybody's not a master chef, right? But they all have the
Mhm.
same tools, they all have the same, spatula and frying pan, whatever. But Gordon Ramsay could probably make, some way better than, just my regular eggs and and bacon in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but we're using the same tools. So it's just about how you use the tools and if you understand how the tools are being used. This is
Mhm.
what I mean about, most entrepreneurs know how to use their tool,
Yeah.
whatever they're good at, but they
Mhm.
don't kind of understand how these algorithms and these tools work, because like I said, they're just tools. Algorithm is just, just a fancy word. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
it really is just a tool. So it's going to do what you tell it to do. And
Mhm.
so if you tell it to do this particular thing and you start being consistent, like you said, you definitely have to be consistent with it, because it's not an overnight type of situation. But if you tell it what to do and how to work, then it'll start working for you. you know
I mean,
um
it seems like it, bro, because you know people talk about people go viral overnight all the time. You know, so
they
it's
they
like,
do,
is
but
it?
there's definitely formulas to going viral.
Mm,
And some people know what those formulas are, because there are some people who go consistently viral, and then there's some people who don't. Some people may go viral one time because they didn't really understand why they went viral. you know and then sometimes when you go viral, you kind of have to break down, like, what made this go viral, like why did people actually gravitate towards this rather
mhm,
than gravitating towards what I thought. As a musician, we all think that and I work with artists all the time, and every time they get finished with a song, they're like, yo, this is a hit, they gonna love this, everybody gonna love this, they gonna dance to this, and it's gonna go crazy. And
mhm,
then when they put it out, it doesn't do what they thought it was going to do, and then, maybe something that they didn't put as much effort or time into, will blow up, and
mhm.
there's countless stories about that. I don't know if you're a fan of De La Soul, but um, De La Soul did an interview one time and they were saying the song Buddy. Have you ever heard that song? Like, my buddy. I know it's probably
Sounds familiar.
passion. probably
I mean,
before
it
your time,
sounds
but
familiar when you just said that. It sounds
but
familiar now.
it was their most popular song, but it was
Okay.
actually a song that they didn't even want to put on the album. Like they had already turned in their album and they just went in there and made that song in 5 minutes and they didn't even like it. And
Mhm.
you know, it blew up. It was like it blew them up. It, you know, it turned them into, you know, the legendary group that they are, you know. And so sometimes, you know, when you put too much thought and too much, you know, try to overproduce and, you know, all that kind of stuff, that sometimes the things that are just so simple and so easy and just so one, two step, you know, turn into, you know, viral hits, you know, or viral videos or, you know, things of that nature. So, you know, we can kind of get in our own way sometimes, you know, to try to make things work because we want it to work so bad or we work so hard on this or, you know, I put so much time into this, but you
Mm.
know, sometimes it just doesn't work like that.
Hmm. So how much do you think like actual content has to do with what you're saying here?
So content has to do with finding your people, right? So
Hmm.
one of the first things that I do whenever I work with a new client is talk about extensively talk about your avatar, right? So who are you talking to? And this is when I work with, you know, clients you know, in marketing and clients with the artist stuff that I do. Like I talk to my artists and I say, "Hey, like who are you talking to?" You know what I'm saying? Like who is that person? You know, like what do they do? Like how old are they? Like what music do they listen to? Like who are their favorite artists? Like what shows do they go to? What kind of clothes do they wear? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they a suit and tie or are they a hoodie person like me? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they like, do they wear glasses? Do they, you know, what's their political party? Like, we really get very surgical with the avatar, right? Because that and we even go so far. One of my coaches said, you know, even go so far as putting a name and a face to this person, right? And when you do that and get really surgical, because let's be honest, all of us are like, when we start something, we're like, this can affect everybody. You know, I want to help everybody. I want to, you know, I want this to go out to everybody and everybody's gonna love it. And I want everybody, but it's 8 billion people in the world. Like that's just not it's not the case. You know what I'm saying? And it's what 400 million in the United States. So and even where you are in Georgia, you know what I'm saying? It's millions of people there, you know what I'm saying? And they all come from different backgrounds and all have different you know, areas of life that mean something to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure like the people that are in metropolitan Atlanta have probably different needs and likes than people who are kind of outside the city and who have maybe like a farm with some goats on it or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
they have different likes, they have different needs. And so you can't say that you know, I want to affect everybody. Obviously, we would love to affect everybody, but it's just that's just not the case, you know. So if you can kind of get over that a little bit, kind of get over yourself a little bit, you know, and kind of really just be surgical about who your avatar is, right? Like who is Miracle trying to talk to specifically, right? Is it you know women that are 30 to 35? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just throwing stuff out there, but you know, do they drink wine? Do they listen to Drake? You know what I'm saying? Do they go to jazz festivals? You know what I'm saying? Like all of the what kind of concerts do they go to? All of these type of things are very important. And so once you figure that out, like you'll find that you're like, okay, I have this person, I have this avatar, I have this person who I can see, who I can feel, who I can touch, and I'm going to specifically speak to them and them only, right? And what you'll notice is that you will start attracting the people that are your avatar, but not only them, but once you start talking directly to them, then you'll start attracting them, attracting more and more. And you're like, whoa, there's a lot of people who are in my avatar. I didn't even realize, you know what I'm saying, were this. And you start in, like I said, in Georgia, but the same people that are like that in Georgia are the same people that are like that in Florida and like that in New York and like that in Iowa and like that in LA. So you start carving out a lane that's just specifically for you, right? And not to say that, a man or saying a kid or somebody older might not like what you're doing, but you're not necessarily specifically talking to them. You're specifically talking to a certain they call it demographic, but we like to say avatar, because the demographic can be very wide, right? We want to talk to a very specific avatar, a very specific person, because those are the people that you know best, right? Because of your life experience, right? And you're not the only one in the world that has had your life experience or similar things, right? Excuse me. So when you
Mhm.
start talking to them, then they start showing up for you, and you're like, oh snap, okay. And then it kind of picks up from there. Does that
Hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, not to be like I've heard similar things. Well, yeah, I've heard similar things before. I'm probably
Yeah.
not everything you said, but
Mhm.
um, maybe it's kind of so. I mean, narrowing it down, entrepreneurs. That's what he's letting us know. Narrow it
Yeah.
down.
Narrowing it
Um,
down.
so then I guess like so you if you have people coming to you or whatnot, obviously we can see how innovative you are with your mindset and whatnot. I was kind of even curious of like how you came up with the ideas that you did when you had your brick and mortar and things of that nature because um I mean I think I'm a little bit of an idea generator every now and then myself, and stuff like that. But I mean those are really creative ideas and ways to um again get people. Like I don't think I ever thought about that to like, oh, just go and like bless people with lunch and then boom, you got
Yeah,
access to
because
the whole
I
client book
mean,
now,
just back to
like
that's basic Bible principles, what I'm saying? Give before you receive. You know what I'm saying? You have to give before you
mhm,
receive. I mean, I'm sure you've heard
mhm,
everybody say, hey, you have to give value, give value, give value. I'm
mhm,
sure you've heard that, because everybody says that now. But it's true. You know what I'm saying? It's true.
mhm.
You have to give value before you can ask for something, what I'm saying, from somebody else. So yeah,
So in
blessing
the
them with lunch
digital,
is easy.
yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
it's an awesome idea. I mean, hopefully somebody that already did that now that you that done heard it on here to go do that for your business.
Go
Like,
do that.
uh, if you can, um, but okay, so what is giving out a lunch look like in the digital space though? Since that's where a lot of us are, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of us is
Mhm,
confused about and stuff
mhm.
like that. So if I mean, I know giveaways and stuff like that. I mean, is that the same thing to you, or like, I mean, I don't know. Don't you ain't got to give us too much of your advice. This is
No, no,
just
no, like,
your
and
your
this is
secret
another
sauce.
thing, like, I'm open book. I'm not gonna withhold any information because, everybody out there can everybody. You know what I'm saying? People out there that need that information, information is so, is there's a plethora of information everywhere, right? You could go to YouTube and type in, and you can learn how to do anything on YouTube,
Mm-hmm,
right? So lack of information is not the problem that people have, right?
mm-hmm,
So when we're talking about giving away stuff, you can give away the information. People sell courses and things like that, but courses are kind of going down, and probably in the next 2 to 3 years probably going to be way down, right? I saw a
mm-hmm,
statistic a couple of days ago where they were like, in 2022 we were selling courses like crazy. Now we barely sell any courses, and when we do sell courses, it's like a 5%, 5 to 6% completion rate on courses. So I
mm-hmm,
saw that statistic. I was like, wow. So, it's because a lot of the information people are giving away for free, you know? So so in the digital space, when we're talking about that, you definitely want to give away the information, because really they can truly find the information. If somebody really wants to deep dive, they can find anything that I'm saying, they can find it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying
mm-hmm,
nothing that hasn't been said before. But it's really about the implementation. right? We're not here because of a lack of knowledge. And I talk about this with my homeboys I do a podcast with, like and a couple of my homeboys who are have kids. They have so much knowledge, right? Like our kids, our teenagers, right? Like they have so much knowledge at their fingertips, but they don't have the wisdom, right? And knowledge is not wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's those are two different things. So, all that to say, people have the knowledge, so you can give away the knowledge all you want to, but
Mhm.
actually the implementation part, that's the part where, people falter or they don't know how to do it. Once you actually start putting something in practice, you can look at YouTube all you want to, but until you actually start putting it into practice, and then you're like, oh, this is uh, way more complicated than I thought it was, or than somebody on a YouTube video made it seem. So
Mm.
to answer your question, give away all the knowledge, give away all the knowledge, give away
Mhm.
whatever people, ask questions. That's another thing that I tell, my artists and entrepreneurs, like, hey, ask questions, see what the people want to know, you know what I'm saying? And answer their question, you know, and then you charge them for the implementation, because once they
Mm.
get the question answered, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, they don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of work.
Right.
It's a lot of work. Whatever that is, it's a lot of work. Like, you know, everybody knows how to cook. I can cook tacos all day. You know what I'm saying? But I still went to Chipotle last night because I didn't want to fire it up. I didn't want to chop the chicken. I didn't want to make my own guacamole. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to make guacamole. I love guacamole. I know how to make it. But
Mhm.
every day I don't want to make guacamole. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing.
Man, I feel like I'm on the brink, and see, this is probably my will. Yeah, if maybe it's just me or the Lord, I don't know, but I feel like ideas come from the Lord. So hey, I'm gonna give it to the Lord. So anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the brink of something. The fact that you're saying this, and then like there's this just stuff that goes on in my life, whatever the case may be, and I'm like, I've been trying to figure out like this, I guess, as they say, what sweet spot or whatever of
Mhm.
situations, because I've been observing this same thing that you're saying about, again, sharing knowledge. People don't want to implement the wisdom, that type of thing. And then I become frustrated by sharing the knowledge. And I'm like, well, Lord, am I supposed to stop sharing the knowledge? Because I'm like, at the end of the day, nobody wants to do it. But what you're telling me is that I got to figure out what that thing is in order to that
Yeah, give them
how
the
to help
knowledge,
people
sell
implement.
sell the implementation. You know what I'm saying? Sell the
It's so
implementation of it.
difficult when like it's advice or something. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's, I feel like my nit. I don't know. We might have to
So
talk
so
after this.
even with advice, so let's say like coaching or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So if you're giving advice, then you're pretty much a coach, Well, I mean, that's just the term that we use nowadays. But
Yeah.
if you're giving advice, then you're pretty much a coach. But if you're giving advice and people are not doing it, right? They're not doing what you're telling them to do. Okay,
Mhm.
so in my this is just me talking, take it for whatever it's worth. But in my
Mhm.
opinion, I would say then make something for them to do that's tangible, or give them something that's tangible for them to do and charge
Mhm.
them for that. Whether that's, if you were a fitness coach, you're going to give them like a 10-day plan, right? Like a 10
Mhm.
day 10 day, do 25 push-ups, at 8 o'clock, do 25 push-ups at this o'clock, eat this, eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna give them
Mhm.
a very detailed plan on how to implement the advice that you're giving them. Everybody
Mm.
knows that they should be eating better. Everybody knows that they should be, doing more exercise. Like, that's not everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? But there's
Yeah.
still people who don't want to do it. So whether it's the motivation, a lot of times it's just the accountability, right? Like, having an accountability partner is so huge, right? So that
Mhm.
could be something that you could be for the people that you're giving advice to. Like, hey, I'm gonna check on you. I'm gonna give you a call every morning at 8 o'clock, right? And you're gonna pay me
Mhm.
this amount because I'm gonna be your accountability partner. And then at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna tell you do these 5 things, and then at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna call you, and you're gonna show me that you did them. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now And I'm not saying that you got to do that exact thing. I'm just saying
Yeah,
like
but I mean, but that makes
you're giving the
yeah.
implementation and you're helping them with the implementation, whatever that is, you know. And so
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think because what has happened for me, like I said earlier, is that it leads to frustration, or and then it leads to doubt as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I know this stuff works for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm
right,
just letting you
right,
know everything that worked for me. And
right,
if you really want what you say you want, like I don't understand why you won't just do it.
right,
So I
exactly.
get to at
And that's
that
why
point, and it is
and
so frustrating.
that's why you got to make sure that if it worked for you, then you got to find the people that are just like you. You know, I'm not saying that you haven't,
Hmm.
but I'm saying like when we're talking
Yeah,
about the avatar, you got to find people who are very similar to you, specific to you, because then because they are of your makeup, then you know they will be able to follow what you followed. You see what I'm saying?
but then I guess maybe I just wrote it off to be like, well, if they don't have the mindset, then maybe that's what it is. Like but
And the
can people outside of
mindset
the
is.
mindset do it too? Like that's what I'm wondering at this point, but I don't know.
I'm sorry. Say that question again.
Now I was saying because I guess I started to wonder like if the people that have a different mindset from me can implement the things. You know what I mean? Because I
And so
think they
that's
could,
where
but if they don't,
right. So that's where you would have to back up, right? So backing up to say, okay, cool. I'm noticing that these people are not doing it. So let me back up, right? And instead of going with the implementation first, let's spend 2 or 3 weeks or maybe even a month working on their mindset, right? Because mindset, if you don't have the mindset, then you're not going to do it. You're just not, right?
no,
So the
yeah,
mindset is a very, very, very important factor. So, you know, maybe come up with something to help them with their mindset, right? Like how did you get to
mm,
where your mindset is? Just think about how you got to your mindset. You know,
yeah,
how did you get to the point where you're saying like, yo, I'm gonna be consistent every day. I'm gonna do these interviews. I'm gonna set up my YouTube. I'm gonna do et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like what was the clicking point in your mind? Like did
hmm,
somebody help you? Was it a message that you heard? You know, whatever it is, think about what got you to your mindset, right? Because you
hmm,
have to have the mindset like that's before you can even start day one. Right. So,
right,
you know, any coach, any coaching course, I've taken a lot of coaching courses, you know what I'm saying? And that's the first, that's probably the first thing is the mindset for everything. So
mm,
if you can get your people, whoever you're talking to, whoever your clients are, to buy into the mindset, like then they'll be able to implement and then they'll be able to see, you know, and just let them know, like, you know, you are you're basically selling the transformation, right? You know that it works for you, so you're like, this is what you could be. But to get there, you have to follow these steps. And I'm going to walk you through these steps, right? First step is going to be mindset shift. You know, like if you want to be rich, like you can't think like a poor person. Right. And so when you start making that mindset shift, you know, then you know you can start thinking like how you're supposed to be. Like if you want to be somebody that goes to the gym, you can't think like somebody who, you know, eats McDonald's all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like those are just
hmm,
they're just opposed. And so yeah, I would suggest, you know, implementing something in your program that starts with mindset first, because
hmm,
that's where it is. Like that's where all of our superpowers are in the mind, you know. And so what we believe, you know what I'm saying, is going to push where we going, you know.
mm. Look, shoot, I feel like I so many things here, so many things. Well, I don't want to be long your time too much, but that I appreciate that. I appreciate that advice and whatnot. Because like I said, I guess I mean, if anybody watches this consistently, like they've probably seen again the different episodes and whatnot. And I've expressed this concern in different ways with other guests because things come out in different ways about like that's going on in my life. And it seems like every guest I have, it don't matter how it happens. It's like it keeps coinciding with stuff that's going on. That's why I know it's divine. But
It's all
aside from that,
divine.
because the last person I talked to, I want to say was like a few weeks ago, but I had people last week that I was supposed to talk to, but then both of those things ended up getting rescheduled to all of a sudden I'm talking to you today specifically about something that is like resonating so much right now. So we're gonna see what the
Good,
Lord
good.
do with all of
Praise,
this. But
praise God, praise God. I'm glad that
yeah, like this
'cause
is crazy
I'm
though,
gonna
but
say
it's
I'm gonna say
good.
one more thing. I'm gonna say one
Yeah.
more thing about that believing stuff because this was really powerful for me. And I this is not, something I came up with. I listened a lot to Myron Golden, and and he says something that really resonates about belief, right? Like
Mm,
whatever you believe, you're actually lying,
mm,
right? Like, if you really think about it, like, if I believe a negative impact is going to happen, it hasn't happened yet. So I'm just telling myself that. If I believe that a
mm,
positive impact is going to happen, it hasn't happened yet. So I'm just telling myself that. You know what I'm saying? So whatever
mm,
I believe, it's lying, really. You know what I'm saying? Like you're lying to yourself. Whatever it is, you're
mm,
telling a story, right? So if I say
mm,
I'm gonna make $1 million this year, you know, hasn't happened yet. So it's just what I believe, right? Or if I say
mm.
that, I'm gonna be in debt for the rest of my life, hasn't happened yet. So you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So whatever you believe, you be lying. That's what he says. I was like, so
Wow.
so you
Wow.
really have to, that's why the mindset and is so powerful, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
even if we go to David and Goliath, like he knew what was going on. He knew that he was going to beat Goliath. He knew it,
Mm,
right? It hadn't happened yet, but he told himself, "This who is this uncircumcised Philistine? I'm about to knock his head off." You know what I'm saying?
mhm, mhm,
Nobody else believed him, but he believed it. You see what I'm saying? And so your belief, that just tells us so much. Like your belief system really
mhm.
defines where you go and what you can do, you know?
It,
And so it's just powerful. Our
it
minds and how God made us is just so powerful.
it is, bro. But now see, you done open up a whole nother little can of worms, bro. Because no, well, one, I'm right there with you. First off, I'm right there with you in what you're saying. And honestly, as you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking about some of the conversations I've had. I'm like, this is exactly what either I've been saying to people or whatever, and I've been trying to help shift people's minds. I was like, come on, you can do it.
Mhm.
But sometimes people don't. I don't know if they don't appreciate the cheerleader coach, whatever. I don't know, but it's like I don't know. I feel like what I've noticed about this is just side note, random, but people that interact with me, for example, like I feel like woe is me people. I guess we must bump heads or something like to
Right,
them. I guess they want to stay woe is me, and I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? You ain't got to be
right,
oh. And then somehow
right.
they say, I know God done take them away from my life or whatever the case may be. They just disappear.
Exactly.
And it's like, I guess they wanted to stay woe is me. I don't
Right.
know, whatever. But anyway, that let's go
You
back to what
can't
you
you
were
can't
saying,
help
right?
you can't help everybody. Like you're not,
I know.
sent here to help everybody, but you are sent here to affect and serve the people that God has put in your place. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Right.
you definitely want to serve them to the best of your ability, but you can't change somebody's mind. You can't make somebody do anything that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
And you can help
No.
them, you can give them all the sauce. And there some people just not gonna put it on their spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Some
Right.
people just want dry spaghetti, no matter how much sauce you give them, how
That's
much
so
sauce you tell
real.
them, like this is the most delicious sauce I've ever made.
And then you be like, listen, I'm giving it to you for free, bro. Like at
I'm
the end of
giving
the
it to
day,
you for
like,
free.
look, like, do you know what I had to go through to get this? What I'm giving to
Right.
you.
If they don't
And then
believe that this
they'll
sauce
appreciate it.
is gonna make their spaghetti better, they're not gonna pour it
Tell
on.
them. Tell them. Look, say a lot for
So
the people at the back. Here's that can of worms you open. I don't know if you want to come back and talk about this one day. But what about them ones talking about they can manifest, bro? Because you over here said we lie to ourselves.
uh, I'm not on the manifest train or whatever that's called, but I do understand the principle and what they are saying, right? I do
Mm,
get what they're saying, saying
mm-hmm.
about, but there's something that I learned, the whole speaking into existence, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like God is actually the only one that can speak stuff into existence.
Mm.
He was
Tell
he's the
them.
only
Tell
one.
them.
He's the only one. He's the one that barad. That's what that word means in Hebrew. He's the only one in the Bible that spoke stuff into existence. He gave us the ability to speak, right? To believe and to do. Faith without works is dead, right? Now
Look,
faith.
amen, corn
And
over here.
it's now faith. That's the part that people miss too. Now faith without works is dead. So you got to think about now means in the present. So you have to really, do something. You know, you just can't say, yo, I'm a manifest $1 million. I'm gonna manifest $1 million. If you say that every day for a year, but you just sit on your couch and watch, whatever's on TV,
Come on, somebody now. Look, y'all weren't ready for this word today.
my bad. I mean, am I preaching too
That's
much?
good.
My
No, that's
bad.
good,
I
bro.
just,
Like, tell the people, man, because
it's,
that's so real and true. And and then I guess I can't help but think about, again, the Bible tells us to focus on today, like, because you don't know, none of us know about tomorrow. Like, we can sit here and be planning all the things, and don't get me wrong, there's not saying anything's wrong with planning, not saying
yeah, you
anything's
have to.
wrong with making sure you, your family, and everybody good. Nothing's wrong with none of that.
Right.
But
Right.
what can you do today? I mean, we all gotta
Right.
focus on
Yeah,
today.
you gotta put the action behind it. That's our job. We gotta put the action behind it. Excuse me. And then once we put the action behind it, then you're gonna see God show up in different ways. Just me getting on this podcast. Um, you know, um, it was a struggle for me for the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna go a little personal, but it's a struggle for me, because I've been kind of I sold my stores in 2020, right? So I kind of been in house. I've been an introvert. I've been dealing with people kind of one-on-one. I haven't really been out there putting myself out there a lot. So I went from always in front of the screen on stages and doing things, and then to just like being an introvert, just chilling, not doing anything. But I knew that I had to get back out there. I knew that I had a word for people, and I knew that God had put this in me, so I had to do it. And just getting over myself, getting over my own insecurities and things of that nature, and just put myself out there and doing the work, right? Doing the work so that now we're here. What I'm saying? That's how we got here. You know what I'm saying? And so just by doing the work, God sent you to me, and now we're here. We're having this conversation. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, the things that I said today will resonate with some people, and will help some people too. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you just have to understand that it's not just about saying it, right? That is part of it. That is 100%. Like, you can't leave that part out, right? You got to say it, got to write the vision down, and then you got to put some works behind it.
That's it.
That's just,
Man,
look, it's a whole process.
I know I can sit here and talk to you. Like I said, birds of feathers flocking together right now, man. I'm over here like, you might be the missing piece of my little puzzle over here. Is this
Hey,
my last international dream team person, Lord? Is it
we can definitely talk and see how I can help for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, before I start a whole nother conversation, look, remind the people, how can we get in touch with you? Things of that nature. Whatever you would like to share, feel free.
Cool. So, Marsh Magnify is my company. And so you can reach me on that. I think all my socials are Marsh Magnify, YouTube, marshmagnify.com. If you want to book an appointment to talk about some marketing issues or things, if you have anything for that, you can holler at me there. Marsh Magnify on Instagram as well, and all my links are there if you want to holler at me, and we can have a conversation and see if I can help you or not.
Well, it sounds great, man. I feel like there's gonna be amazing things that you are gonna be doing and whatnot. I mean, you already told us a little bit about the podcast, so you probably had to just come on back, bro, because obviously you didn't tell us everything that you got going on.
Yeah.
So
I do have a podcast. we haven't started putting it out yet, but we have
Oh,
recorded. I think we're up to like 4 episodes. We're gonna be recording some more.
okay.
It's called Fathers Handling Business. So
Nice.
we're gonna be talking about some biblical stuff, and talk
Okay.
about some father stuff, some controversial topics about child support and corporal
Listen,
punishment and
look, look,
all kinds
throw
of
that
stuff.
abortion in there, bro, because we need to hear y'all man perspective. Like we the
Yeah,
ones
yeah, we gonna
um
have a perspective. I'm talking with a real good brother
everything.
who's the actual marriage and family counselor. He's a
Mm,
licensed marriage and family therapist. And so he has some great insights from his stuff. And so, it's a good conversation.
listen, Kingdom Man talking. I love it, man.
Yeah,
Yes. Let us know when y'all get that going, because I definitely would love to share. And
definitely,
we need
definitely.
all the Kingdom content we can get out here, man.
For sure, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Well, look, you welcome back anytime, bro. I know I'm gonna sit here and talk to you, so let me go and let you go.
All right. I appreciate you having me on your platform. Blessings to you. And hopefully, I've been able to, share a couple of things with your audience and hopefully with you,
Yeah.
that'll help you, as you progress. I love to see it. I love to see what you're doing. It's needed out here. So, I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wishing I would have a one night affair.
Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show, and thank you to Brother Dwyan for joining us tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and check out Dwyan and his endeavors. Have a good night.